The following is going to be a brutal wake-up call, and it will help your perfectionist tendencies. If you find yourself as a teacher tweaking and continually adjusting every resource, every PowerPoint, every worksheet that you give your students, and you find that it's getting in the way of your alone time, your family time, your lunch time, you need to hear this. Maria Jernigan here from Redshift Education, and today we are tackling perfectionism as a teacher. Now, I am a high school Spanish teacher. I know what it's like to deal with this. Interestingly enough, I struggled with perfectionism while making and planning this video. So I'm going to give you the step-by-steps of how exactly I worked through my perfectionism today, like in this moment, to not just help you get through it one time, but to change your whole mindset, the whole way you think about unhelpful perfectionism as a teacher. We're going to handle all of that right now today. Let's do it. Close your eyes. I want to take you back to your own experience in high school. Really think about this. Actually close your eyes. Humor me. I can't actually see if you are, but hopefully you are. And I want you to think about the best teacher you've ever had in high school. The most amazing teacher that sticks in your memory and you have so many fond feelings for. You got that person? Now, I want you to picture in your mind, I want you to visualize very clearly PowerPoints that teacher showed you in class. Can you think of one? If you can think of one, can you think of 5? Okay, stay with me. Now I want you to think about if the font size of the title on slide 7 matched the font size of the title of slide 9. You can remember that, right? You can picture that. Yeah, just keep your eyes closed, visualize very clearly. Okay, how about the image on page 4, on slide 4 of that PowerPoint by the most amazing, memorable teacher you've ever had? Was it centered or was it 1 pixel off from center? Man, that really was distracting, wasn't it? Oh, okay, PowerPoints are hard. Let's think of something even easier, like worksheets, right? Okay, think of the most impactful worksheet. Think of a worksheet that was so beautiful that when you saw it, you realized you wanted to major in that subject in college. It happened all the time, right? No? Okay, but surely you noticed if there was, an extra line break in that worksheet, right? No? How many worksheets and PowerPoints and other resources that your teacher made, how many of those can you even remember from school? I can remember maybe 1, and that was one worksheet that was by my English teacher, who was most amazing, Mrs. Camper, if you're watching, hi. She made this sheet that had a big clip art of a crying baby. She called it the crying baby sheet. That's the only worksheet I remember. And it's prettiness, its aesthetic, its perfection, or lack thereof, had 0 bearing on how I feel about her subject and her as a teacher. If you were really, really good and kind and sincere in following my directions, sorry I forgot to tell you to open your eyes. You can do so now. I mean, it's YouTube. I'm sure you never even closed your eyes to begin with, but okay. Now, if you stop watching right here, you're going to feel depressed because you're going to realize really quickly, like I did, that so few of the materials that my high school teachers certainly poured their hearts over do I even remember. And I think instead of feeling saddened by that, you can feel liberated, because think about this. What do you remember from your favorite high school teacher? Maybe you remember how much of a personal interest she took in your life. Maybe you remember how much energy she or he brought into the room. Maybe you remember how inspired you felt when you left their classroom every day. These things are what your students are going to remember about you. They're not going to remember the exact font that you used in one worksheet and if it matched the font of the PowerPoint from the class before. They're not going to even look 3 times at most things that you create. And so if you feel like you are spending so much time on building the docs and the resources and the videos that you're sending to your students, if you're spending so much time perfecting those that you're neglecting either yourself or your relationship with your students, I'm here to free you of that, because here's the truth. You can't be a perfectionist in the things that actually matter in the classroom. What does it mean to be a perfectionist at loving your students? It doesn't make sense, right? Like, what does it mean to be a perfectionist at, like, asking your kids to bring their pets to the Zoom call? Like, it doesn't make sense. And likewise, this will free you to put more time into your family, into yourself, into your lunchtime. And those things don't have anything to do with perfectionism either. You can't be like a perfect lunch eater. I really encourage you to think about how perfectionism, once you recognize that it's happening, you're probably paying so much attention to something that your students won't even remember. So if you find yourself sinking a ton of energy and time into a material, just ask yourself, if I were a student in my class, would I remember this in a month? Would I remember this in a year? Will my own students remember this next class? Probably not. And put it down. Walk away. Go, like, read a book or something. Do something fun for yourself. I don't know. So I'll tell you that there are a couple, I can make so many different videos about how to manage your time, how to beat perfectionism. I love this kind of stuff. So if you like videos like this and you want more time management tips for teachers, like the video, leave a comment, please let me know. But before I let you go, I want to tell you the step-by-step process I went through to work through perfectionism in the planning of this video, which was the only reason that I'm getting this video out today for you guys. You ready? I think this is kind of cool. So one thing that was a game changer for me when I found myself not even realizing it was perfectionism at the time, I just found myself saying, like, oh my goodness, a subscriber wants this video topic, but I don't really know how to tackle it. I don't really know if I have anything original to add to it. I don't know if I have enough time to do the topic justice. And I started feeling my thoughts spiraling. So if you start feeling those thoughts spiraling, here's what I want you to do. A, I want you to pick up your phone and call a close friend. That's exactly what I did. I picked up the phone, I called my friend and said, hey, I really need to get a video out, and I'm not really sure that any of my ideas are good enough. Can you help me? And, just having a trusted friend tell you that it's okay to not be perfect every time you make a resource for your students. And it's okay to spend 30 minutes instead of 4 hours on this PowerPoint slide. You're going to hear your friend giving you advice way more clearly in your head. It will resonate with you more than you trying to have this dialogue in your own brain. So step 1, call a trusted friend. If you're watching this, friend that I'm talking about, thanks. Then label it as perfectionism. Take a step back and go, oh, this pressure that I'm putting on myself, or this never-ending time that I'm dumping into this small thing, oh, this is perfectionism. Okay, I can work with this. Maria gave me some tools and some step-by-step blueprint of how to do this. Okay, cool. Third thing you do is you ask yourself the question, will the person I'm making this for remember this detail in a month? Will they remember it in a year? Will I remember this detail in a year? The answer is probably no. And then finally, ask yourself, by saying yes to putting more time into this item, am I saying no to myself? Oftentimes as teachers, we sink so much time into building amazing resources for our students that it cuts into our own personal time. And especially if you're in a hybrid environment right now where you're teaching from home, this is even easier to fall into. So if you find that this work-life balance when teaching from home is something you struggle with, I really encourage you to watch this video right here. I talk all about it. And if this is something you'd like to change long-term about yourself in the way you approach teaching, maybe you should watch this video, which is all about setting goals realistically even when you're exhausted as a teacher. We can thank subscriber and commenter Christine for her video suggestion for today. If you want to suggest and request a video topic, all you gotta do is leave a comment on my most recent video. If it speaks to me and I think it will help a lot of you guys, I'm happy to make it for you. So thank you, Christine. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next Monday. Adios.